What is up, guys? And we are back in the burbs, back in Mint Hill, back at the shoe market, ready to absolutely pound some mileage. And it's exciting. It's exciting. I can barely get my words out. Why am I excited? Why am I so hyped? Well, we have the SC Trainer V3 here, but that's not why I'm excited. That's not even why I'm hyped. I'm excited and hyped because we are back, ready to grind it out, ready to put in the work, man. We were in California last week, and the past 2 days I was getting out some videos from the trip, and I was thinking, man, I'm ready to flip the camera on and start talking again. I took 2 days off, no filming, because I'd pre-recorded 2 videos before I left, which is one of the best things I've ever done. I'd never plan ahead, but I'm ready to get back to the daily grind. I'm ready to get back to putting up some mileage and the shoes that you want to see, because that's what this channel is all about. New Balance SC Trainer V3. Let's go. Let's get it in. Let's get into it. So we have the SC Trainer V3 here, and I was fortunate to be one of the first few to get this because on that California trip, Running Warehouse had this waiting for me. So shout out to Running Warehouse. Oh, look at that. That's a little bit better. Yeah, shout out to Running Warehouse for bringing me out there. But today I wanted to do a little spotlight on the SC Trainer V3 because you know what happened on that California trip? I actually did my 20-mile long run in this shoe. And you might be wondering, oh, really? Why didn't you post a video? Well, I filmed one of the most beautiful videos probably I've ever filmed. Most beautiful footage. We went to this place called Montaña de Oro, and I know you guys think this is pretty, and it is pretty, but cliffside views, beach, mountains, and that was the last day. On the last morning, we got up early to hit that 20-miler. It was me, Drew from Wear Testers, and Dr. Lisa. We were all doing different distances. I got a lot of great footage of the morning. A lot of great footage out there at the beach, but then when I was traveling, because it was the last day, I was in such a rush, something weird happened with my computer. Everything froze, and it completely wiped my SD card. So luckily, I had a lot of other footage that saved, but I completely lost the entirety of my long run. I have everything before the long run, and I have all the conversation with Drew after, but no long run. So that's why I wanted to do a little spotlight of this guy, again, before the 100-mile review, because you guys know I like doing a double day or a workout video or something, because I haven't really given you any thoughts on this since the first run. So I did post a 50-mile update, by the way, on Instagram. So make sure to go follow the Supwell Running Instagram. I'm going to start pushing that like a used car salesman. That was one of my biggest takeaways from the trip. Okay, I'll give you my quick takeaways from the trip. 1, they not like us. We got to continue putting in the work, putting up the mileage. I'm not even going to say anything else on that one. 2, we got to get this multi-channel strategy going, bro. I got to get the Instagram back. I got to get the website back. And 3, this trip, this made me realize why I'm doing this and who I want to do it for. So we were out there with all the other review sites and businesses, and it was cool because I got to see a little bit of the business strategy. Everyone has a different niche. Everyone has different revenue streams. And I'm realizing I don't want my revenue to be coming from the brands. I want to be serving you guys, giving you value. And I want to be compensated based on how much value I'm giving you guys. So stay tuned for some cool things coming. I know there's 2 products in particular you guys have been asking for. Stay tuned. They're not both merch. One of them is merch. You guys know what it is. It is coming very soon. I'm going to drop the pre-order link this week. You guys already know. Pre-order link this week. Might even be live by the time of this video. So if it is, I'll put a note. But stay tuned, guys. I don't even know where I was going with that, but I just haven't talked to you in a while because I've been away. But let's talk about the SC Trainer V3 really quickly here. So this guy is New Balance's plated training shoe. You get a high stack of the fuel cell foam with the carbon fiber plate. The fuel cell foam in here is a mix of training foam and racing foam. It's very similar to the Rebel V4 foam. So far, I have about 60 miles on this. You can see it is very dirty because we've been running in the trails of California, out in Central California, San Luis Obispo. I actually really like this colorway. It's the black with the orange and in the green. It's pretty sick, but so far it's not blown me away. It's been solid, but not amazing. I also have a half size too big just because that's what Running Warehouse had. They didn't have any 10.5s. There's another dude out there who's a 10.5 as well, and we both had to get 11. So that does influence my experience with the shoe, having a little bit more room. And I do think this is a shoe where you might even be able to go down half a size. I'm not sure because I compared it to a 10.5 yesterday, and it seems significantly bigger. So I never really go down half a size, but you are going to get some nice room in here. But so far, my experience with the shoe, stable, feels sturdy, not super soft when running at my everyday paces, but when picking it up, I am getting a nice little bit of pep, and I can definitely feel the carbon. It's weird. I don't usually feel the carbon, but I think this foam isn't necessarily soft, but it's not the densest. So because it's a little bit lower density, which I think helps keep the weight light in a shoe like the Rebel, you can feel that plate doing a little bit of the work. So not the most rockered shoe, not the most aggressive, but I am getting the benefit of that plate. And on the long run that I did, which is why I wanted to do this video, I think that's what I was saying, then I forgot. I wanted to do this video because I lost all my long run footage, so I wanted to do a different spotlight, and then I was going to tell you about the long run experience. It was great. The shoe was great for the long run. I think if you're a 4-hour marathoner, this could be a viable choice, but today I really want to see how it does for speed. How is this going to do when I'm picking up the pace a little bit? Then the other thing, how resilient is this foam? So I might end up doing 2 runs in it. If not, I'll save it for the 100-mile review, but I want to see how this foam does with some serious poundage. So we got 60 miles on it now. We'll get the 100-mile review soon, but today we're going to get out, get some speed this morning. Oh, mosquitoes are back. We got to get a bug spray sponsor. Man, this is craziness. Let's just lace these things up and go. I don't have that much time to talk, but we're back out here in the burbs, ready to put in the work. If you're ready to put in the work, I don't even know. Just go out and put in the work. All right, guys, so lacing up the SC Trainer V3 here. And if you've tried the SC Elite V4, this is going to be pretty similar feeling stepping into it. And that's one of the things that I was curious about, because it doesn't seem like there's that much difference between the two, and I'll need to do a head-to-head at some point, but they do feel really similar. And I think if you liked the SC Elite V4, you'll probably like this one. I did not love that shoe. That did not make my personal list of favorites, and it felt like in that shoe I had to work a little bit too hard to compress the foam the way that I wanted it to. It felt more like a training shoe than a race shoe. And my experience with this one so far is similar, but it also feels more aggressive than a lot of the other plated training shoes. Not the ride, but the plate in there. So we'll see throughout the day how it evolves. 60 miles now. We're going to go out and we don't have that much time. It's 8:26, gosh. All right, we're going to go out and rip a few mile repeats at around marathon pace, see how these do. Let us get into it. So for my paces and my size, this is definitely not a recovery shoe. And I was able to use V2 that way. Because the foam isn't as soft, I personally would not love using this for slower paces. But for daily and faster pickups so far, it's felt good. But I have not done a true workout in it yet. So that's the goal this morning, if my legs can cooperate. That hilly long run on Sunday did kind of take it out of me. All right, a little leg check on the straightaway here. We're feeling okay. I give it a 6 out of 10. Not the best, not the worst. Good enough to attempt a few miles at marathon pace. See, I'm gonna warm up for 2 miles and then we can try to start working some faster pace. All right, mile 1 of the warm up, that was a 7:14, but does not feel natural right now. feels like it's taking me a little bit of effort to turn over the legs. And one thing that I've noticed with this shoe and the Elite V4, there's just a lot of foam underfoot. So they both have 40 millimeters in the back. This has a 6 millimeter drop. The other one has, what is it, 4 in the race shoe. And that just puts a lot of foam in the forefoot. And I like foam. Maximum Kush gang 2024. But when I'm trying to run fast, so I don't always love that much foam. That was my issue with the Magic Speed as well. And also my issue with the Super Blast. So far, I am getting a little bit of this feeling of I'm fighting against the foam versus it's working with me. And now it is cushioned, don't get me wrong, but the Nimbus was cushioned as well. And with that one, I had the same thing where I feel like I was fighting against that foam. My legs are just feeling so heavy. I'm gonna throw a little stride, see if that can break things up down there. Oh man, this is not feeling good. Whew. Ha. Yeah, I'm toast right now. Also, my sleep has been horrible since we got back, and it's probably 98% humidity. So take all those environmental considerations into account. Woo! Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Man, you know why I love doing shoe reviews? Because I can run and then share my experience running with you. That's my whole goal with this. Sharing my experience running and hopefully getting other people excited about running. And I'm not in it for the brand tours. I'm not in it for the free gear. I already started giving some of that away. I'm in it to bring you guys along on these runs and hear about how much you guys love running. That's why I love this. One thing that was tough about that trip though is, man, at the end of it, when everyone was going home on Sunday, I was thinking, man, I gotta go back to my 9 to 5 tomorrow. And a lot of the other people, they're doing this full time. So, man, that's just what being a hobby jogger is about right now. We all got different priorities. We all have different constraints. We can still put in the work, make the time for it to get out here and get some mileage in and prioritize whatever is important to us. But no matter whether I'm doing this full-time, part-time, or no time at all, I want to be getting out here and running until I'm 45. When I turn 45, I'm not running any more miles. I already told you guys. I'm gonna hit the golf course and relax. Bro, hobby golfer for sure. All right, that was the second mile. I'm gonna try to start dropping some pace now. It is not gonna be easy today, but we're gonna try to pick it up a little bit. All right, so that was mile 3. My legs feel like complete garbage right now. That was a 6:57, which is essentially my aerobic pace. I just do not have any turnover today, and these shoes are not working for me at the moment. I was able to get down to 6:30 pace during my long run, but man, that was an uphill mile right there, but still, I just do not have it right now. So I'm gonna modify the plan a little bit, try to salvage this workout. I don't think long marathon pace reps are it today. So instead, I'm gonna aim to do some 800s. Maybe marathon pace, maybe a little bit faster, but just something. I wanna get some sort of a faster running stimulus today. This is gonna be a little bit of a mental battle. Well, that's okay. I didn't think I'd be this beat up today, but I think the travel is just catching up to me and the sleep, even though we got home 2 nights ago. But such is life. At least we can be outside running. Our friend Caden over on the Supple Truck channel is fighting back from an injury right now, just recovering. So yeah, chatted with him yesterday and sending him good vibes to heal up. But any day we can get out here and mash some mileage without pace, even if I'm forcing myself to smile right now, it's a good day. We have to be thankful. So I'm gonna try an 800, downhill 800. You know what? If you gotta use the downhills some days, just do it, just do it. All right, well, 800 right here. All right, downhill 800, 6:08 pace, which is, I'm not gonna use any adjectives to put myself down, but 6:08 pace downhill. Man, and right now the shoe is feeling like I have to land in an exact way for it to feel good. This is not doing it for me right now. The reason the Rebel works is because it's super lightweight. It's the lightest weight shoe I own, other than the Vaporfly and the Metaspeed shoes. Actually, no, that's not true. It's in the top 5 lightest shoes I own. So Vaporfly, wait, no, let's do this right. Evo, but I'm not gonna count that. Metaspeed shoes, Vaporfly, Takumi Sen, and then it might be the Rebel. Maybe I'm missing one race shoe, but it is very lightweight. That's why that shoe works. And with the stack being low, I'm not expecting a ton of anything crazy from the shoe. I just want enough protection, and it has a nice rocker. With this guy, it feels like the foam just needs another rev. And see, right now it's okay. I'm doing a more relaxed recovery pace. I'm getting a little bit of bounce, but the foam is just nothing special. It needs one more rev. This is New Balance's first shot at the Puma EVA blend. So 20% training foam, or 20% race foam, 80% training foam. Just feels like it's not there yet. The foam in the Mach 6 is great. Great training foam. I'm trying to think of some other good training foams. The fresh foam, all of the fresh foam that I've tried this year has been great. This one is just not doing it for me. And I wonder if New Balance should switch to a true dual foam for next year to get a little bit more excitement. But all right, we're doing long recoveries today. Just gonna try to get some 800s to get a little bit of turnover, so that this is not just a complete L. But let's hit this next 800, see if we can't get a little bit more out of this foam. I have no juice up this uphill right now. Whew. I think we did 3 days straight of elevation gain over 1,000 feet. Might be catching up to me. All right, That was the second 800, 6:45 pace, which is slower than my marathon pace uphill. So I don't have the turnover today. I'm just gonna call it on the pace, which is okay. There's no reason to be a hero. And that's the benefit of not running with a coach or a training plan. It's easier for me to do that. And that's why I'm able to run such high mileage for the last, I don't know, year and a half without getting injured. And I could get injured right now. I could pop my Achilles or something. But that doesn't invalidate the fact that I've done it for 18 months without getting injured. And one of the reasons I've been able to do that is because on days like today, I've learned if I'm not feeling it, I'm just gonna cut it. I feel perfectly fine. I'm not under recovered or overtrained. I just need one more day to get back to whatever it is to be able to hit faster paces. And I don't train by heart rate or anything, but one of the reasons you would look at heart rate is on a day like this, I can see my heart rate is in a normal zone. It's not jacked up. I feel completely fine, but I'm just not feeling it. So I'm gonna cut it. And I think that's a little harder to do if you're a newer runner, you have a coach, or you're closer to a goal race. All those things make it harder to say, I'm just not gonna hit this pace today. But that's one of the benefits of focusing on mileage. I'll just drop some nice relaxed miles and still feel good. Because for me, the mileage and getting out here is the goal. And I can look back at my last month of training and say, yeah, I have run 20 milers every weekend. My marathon fitness is there. I did run a 4:54 mile last week, so my speed is still there. Yeah, I am coming off of a ridiculous week of travel and then getting right back into it with work and family. So I'm a little bit tired. So I'm just gonna do the mileage. So, man, that's why I love taking you guys along with me, because you can see everything. And I've also gotten to a point now where, again, I try not to let the ego come through. And I find with me personally, it's a lot easier for me to get mileage in than pace. The downside of that is, if I do want to train for a faster marathon time, the ego is going to get in the way with the mileage, because I'll need to give up some mileage to work on some speed. So it's all a balance. It is all a balance, but we're just gonna jog it out to 10 miles and then call it a day. And for the long game, baby. If you guys want to know the way that I got injured, the first and so far only major running injury I've had. So I was going for a half marathon PR. I was on pace for a 122 or a 123. This was during my first marathon build. And I got off course and took a wrong turn because I was just going fast, not listening to anyone else. I was in second place. It was a very small race and there was no one else around me, and I got off course. So that race was terrible. I ended up DNFing, which I vowed to myself. That means do not finish. I vowed to myself I'll never do that again. As long as I'm physically capable of finishing a race, I would just walk it out, because it was the worst thing in the world after to have Mason ask me why I didn't finish, because Charlie drove to come pick me up. Some jerk yelled out to me that I was gonna be disqualified. Some hero who ended up getting third place or something, so he was hype that I was in front and got disqualified. But that got in my head. I quit. 2 days later, I had a speed workout on the calendar prescribed by my coach This is one of the reasons I don't have a coach anymore, because man, why would you prescribe a speed workout 2 days after a failed half marathon PR? But I did it, and it wasn't the coach's fault. This was my fault. I was trying to get revenge. I was trying to get revenge for my failed half marathon time. The coach prescribed 1 minute on, 1 minute off, no paces. So I was ripping, just sprinting the 1 minute out of 5 flat, getting down to 4s, basically just as fast as I could go. And something just popped in my knee because I was forcing myself to get revenge, to go hard, to make up for my mistake. That was 100% the ego. So I've learned, man, don't let the ego run the race. Don't let the ego run the run. It's a lesson I've learned. It's a lesson I know about. It's a lesson I try to remember. It's not a lesson that I practice all the time. It's something that I still have to work at every day. Don't let the ego do the work, because that's when we get into some trouble. All right, so it saddens me to say, and we're at mile 6, mile 66 total on these shoes. It's hard for me to say this, but this is not a banger. This is not a banger. It might be a good shoe, it might be a solid shoe for some people, but man, it's not a banger. Probably one of the biggest surprises of the year. But actually, I don't know why. I don't know why it would be a big surprise, given what we know about the Rebel. A lot of people didn't like that shoe. Some people did, but we all agreed that for the most part, the foam wasn't the most exciting. Again, it was more about the lightweight, more about the lower stack relative to other shoes on the market. But yet, we all still had such high expectations for the SC Trainer V3. And this shoe is exactly what we should have thought it was. I sound like that coach. They are who they thought they were. Was that Shanahan? I forget who said that. But this shoe was what we should have thought it was been. We should have known this was coming, guys. We really should have. It's a higher stack Rebel with a plate and less of a rocker. It looks exactly, or it rides exactly like what it looks like. We just didn't have the good sense to anticipate that. For some reason, we thought the foam would be different in here. I don't know why. And I'm not just speaking for me, I'm speaking for all of us. So good shoe, but man, not a banger. You ever listen to a song and you just keep waiting for the beat to drop? That 808, that's gonna come in at some point. Oh man, I know the snare is about to come in after this bar. Right? Nope. That's how it feels to run in this shoe. But then there's some pockets where the rapper just starts to hit that flow, that cadence, and rides the beat perfectly. You're still waiting for the beat to drop, but it sounds good. And that's how it feels to run this shoe. It's giving me something. And if I squint at it, if I listen just in the right way, it sounds good, but it's not giving me that boom, bang, bop that I would expect from a plated shoe. It's like the song Let the Beat Build by Lil Wayne, but the acapella version. That's what this shoe is. Let the beat build acapella, no beat. The bars are good though. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Straight off the block with it. Eagle Street to be specific. Wheezy. I was gonna say something, but I think it's kind of loud over here, so wait. But land for sale. Look at that. If you want to come to Mint Hill, there you go. Hey, out here putting in the work. Let's go. Not sure what kind of an eagle tattoo that was, but I don't know if that was Supwell certified right there. Putting in that work over there. I should take Reezy to come and watch this. He'd love that. But man, I still can't quite figure out what this shoe is best for. And the nickname I gave this shoe is Dirty Mileage, because I got it super dirty when I was out in California. And it feels like a shoe that can soak up mileage. And the shoe that I kept comparing it to throughout the first 30 miles is the Superblast. I think that's still accurate. And I did not love the Superblast because it felt so average to me. Like I wasn't getting a ton of benefit from all the race foam. And this is similar. The plate is really the star of the show. The plate is the only thing that makes this shoe unique. The foam isn't anything special. The stack isn't crazy compared to things like Skyward X, Prime X Strong, even the More V4. There's not a gigantic rocker. It's really just the plate. And you do get that benefit from having a plate. The shoe performed great for what it is over the long run. It's just the ride, mile by mile, the ride experience is not that much better or better at all than something like the 860 V14. So you might get some macro benefits out of this shoe. Maybe recovery will be better. Maybe for the 20 miler, the foam will hold it better because of the plate. But the ride experience, step by step, meter by meter, mile by mile, is not going to blow you away. And I would venture to say, even if this is your first plated shoe, and especially if this is your first plated shoe, it might not blow you away. So that might make this a nice option for somebody's first plated shoe. But I would argue, if you're running in a Pegasus or a Clifton or a Rebel, get the Endorphin Pro 4, man. Get something that's gonna be exciting but still easy to run in. I'm just struggling a little bit to see where exactly this fits in with all the other options out there, especially for $180. But that is a question that we'll have to answer probably in the 100-mile review, and I am gonna get this to 100 to answer that exact question. Who is this best for? And also durability, because it's possible that, and maybe the foam just takes a ton of time to break in, but maybe one of the key benefits of the shoe will be the durability, because I do remember the rubber coverage being pretty solid. So yeah, we're closing in on mile 10. What are we at now? 9:13. So just gonna loop back around and be home. But what I wanted to say was the whole ego conversation. There is a piece of it where we have to have some standards, and we do have to be a little bit controlling. What's the right word? We have to hold on to those things which are important to us. Otherwise, the bottom will fall out. So for me, the way I do that is through weekly mileage. I stick to 100, and I went into that trip last week without a mileage target because I wanted to enjoy the experience. And I think it's okay to do that every once in a while. I did the same thing when we went to the Poconos. But then I also left saying, man,
I hit 89 miles this week. I should have just banged 100. Is it gonna matter in the grand scheme of things? No. What matters more is that week on week, we can stick to those non-negotiables and follow through. And that overall, we're holding on to those things which are important. So for me, it's the weekly mileage and it's the long run. That's why I did bang that 20 miler out in that beautiful place where all my footage got deleted. So we're gonna keep mashing some mileage. I'm also stringing together 730s right now. So I'm not crawling. It's just not my day to have a workout. And so that's my takeaway. If you're not feeling the workout, if you have a coach, if you don't have a coach, if you're training for a 5K, if you're training for a marathon, if you're training for a mile, even if you're training for life, just don't do it. If you're a newer runner, just walk that day. If you're sick, just get outside, walk down to the mailbox, whatever it is. As long as you can get outside, keep the habit up. And that's what's important for me. And that's what being a hobby jogger is all about to me. And the brand, man, the brand is strong right now. We got people out here trying to start cribbing the hobby jogger brand. Everyone can put their own meaning on it, but you guys know what it means. We get out here, we put in the work, we do it for the love of the game, and we do it to get better every day for ourselves, for our family. We gotta up our best, baby. Let's go. I know there's gonna be some guy who comments, bro, the reason why you're not liking the shoe is because it's long and your metatarsal isn't compressing the foam. Your fifth metatarsal is hanging up. Bro, cool off with the metatarsal talk, okay? If your name is not Matt or you do not work for Doctors of Running, I don't want to hear anything about the Met, okay? No metatarsal, unless you're my guy Matt. The other thing is the Diodora Gara fit basically identically to this in terms of the length, and that had one of the best toe off, if not the best toe off experience of the year, with the rocker, the foam, and the curve of that plate. So I don't want to hear that metatarsal shenanigan conversation, okay? All right? And peanut gallery with the metatarsal talk, bro. That's the new Benny the Butcher album, Metatarsal Talk, Volume 1. All right, we're back. We are back. Straight off the iPhone with it. I don't even have time to put the SD card from the GoPro into the other camera, but what do we get? It's Thomas, please charge. All right, get out of here. 12 miles, 7:18 pace, 1 hour, 28 minutes, 10 seconds. And this is what I'm saying, guys. This is how I know I'm in decent shape. I can do a 12 miler at a 7:18 pace right now. And that felt like a little bit of a fail. So my fitness is there. It just wasn't the day to turn over the legs. And I was gonna do 10 just because of time, but I decided to bang the last 2. I'm not gonna shower before this next Zoom call, which is kind of disgusting, but you gotta do what you gotta do, baby. Like I said, the mileage is the standard. Showering, that's not the standard. I'm just kidding. I shower twice every day pretty much, but I'm glad I did that last 2 because those were the best 2 miles of the day in the shoe, and it reminds me why I nicknamed them the dirty mileage shoes. So I think, man, the more mileage you put in them, the better they're gonna feel. For the first 10, it's like the Novablast, and during that long run, I compared this to the Novablast. First 30 minutes, first hour, a little unremarkable. You could hear me being a little bit annoyed. And then we got up to 90 minutes, and that's when they started coming alive at the end. So I'll do the breakdown in a bit. I'm extremely sweaty. I have probably -1 minute. I have 1 minute. See you guys later.
All right, guys, so it is now noon. A little lunch break. We've just been grinding it out inside at the 9 to 5. And so I did want to do a little quick recap on this guy before we go and make some lunch. So as I said, it really started to open up in the last, 2 miles there, and I was getting down to 7 flat pace for that mile 12, and that's where this has felt best to me, in that steady zone. So not as fast, as marathon pace, I think I want something with a little bit more turnover for that, or that encourages me to pick up the cadence a little bit more, and not as slow as recovery. So this is the same thing that I felt with the Superblast. It was a little bit of a narrow use case where it only felt good really from 640 to 720, and it just doesn't seem that versatile for me. Now, I think at those pace ranges, I'm putting more force down into the shoe. I can get the foam to compress in such a way combined with the plate where I do get that benefit. And if you are a bigger runner, I think this is going to come alive for you more at slower paces, and you might enjoy this as maybe a speed training shoe or a daily shoe. But for me, it's in that weird zone where for shorter runs at my everyday run pace, I just don't get the benefit out of this. I'd rather be in most of those $140 daily trainers. I'd rather be in the 860 or the Mach 6, or it's just something simpler. It's because there's a lot going on with this shoe. It's not the lightest weight shoe. You do get a lot of foam and protection, but like the Novablast, I don't really need all that foam unless I'm going for a little bit of a longer time and I'm running at a little bit of a faster pace. So they do say that right on the tongue, right? Fueled for the long run. And New Balance has a lot of great shoes in the lineup, and I'm bummed that I lost my long run footage because I would have loved to share that experience with you guys. And I can tell you it was solid, especially at the end. I dropped a 630 pace. I'll throw up my stats right here for the long run so at least you could see. But I dropped a 630 pace for some of that at the end, and it performed well. It didn't feel like it was going to bottom out. So we'll check that again for the second run of the day here, how this is going to hold up now that we're getting closer to 100 miles. The second run will put us at, I think, 70 miles on this guy. But yeah, so far it's not really about the ride being awesome. It's that it gives me the support and the pop to do whatever mileage I want to do. Dirty mileage. That's really all it is. This is the dirty mileage shoe. So with that, guys, we're going to come out and run in a little bit. I got a ton of work to do today, man. We've just been grinding on this 9 to 5, baby. That's what we got to do. Hobby jogger lifestyle. But let me see if I can put together something for lunch here. Man, everyone wants to copy the Hobby Jogger brand. Hobby Jogger means you just got to put in the work no matter what. Let me show you guys something, actually. Let me show you something. I've been meaning to show you this for a while. So take a look at this. This is the Hobby Jogger hat. Can you see that? This is the Hobby Jogger hat that I first put on my head back at the running event last November. I have worn it every single day since then. Let me show you what the brand new hat looks like. So I sold all the other truckers, and I saved one. This just sits up there in the closet. Take a look at this. Now, this is not the best lighting, I know. But look at that. Every day we've been grinding, and every day when I open up my closet and find something to wear, this reminds me. This is where we started, and this is what it looks like to put in the work. That's why I love putting this thing on every day, because it reminds me why I'm doing this. I'm doing it for everyone else out there who considers themselves a hobby jogger and who wants to put in the work with all the other constraints, who's a sicko like me who's going to pop out on their lunch break to talk about a carbon-plated shoe, who's going to try to put up as many miles as they can to make themselves feel happier, to add value to their life. That's why I'm doing it, baby. Look at this. Man, we've been grinding. Let's go. All right, I have actually no idea what I'm going to eat. So I abandoned Charlie and the kids for a week last week because I was at this running warehouse thing. So I really don't know what's in here. This might be a little bit of a smorgasbord. And I have to go run after this, so I don't want a ton of weird food. Can we keep it light? I don't even know what we have. All right, this is not going to be nearly enough, but I'll do that. All right, there we go. That's perfect. This is a weird lunch. This is the other thing. It can't be perfect all the time. It cannot be perfect. We just got to get some calories so we can get back to work and get out there. So I'm going to do a little bit of this leftover fried rice, and then I'm going to do a quesadilla. So, oh gosh, we got flies in here. Did I get him? I don't think I got him. I'm gonna get him. Crocs recovery slide, best footwear for killing flies. Somebody called me a sellout because I joked that every other recovery slide was trash. Man, you guys need to chill out, man. Get whatever recovery slide you want. They're all good. The thing is, actually, there was one brand I tried that actually was trash. It's the most popular brand. And I started off with the Hoka Aura Luxe, which I love. They're a little bit more rockered than these guys, but both the Crocs and the Hoka are great. There's another brand out there that, man, I tried those things on in the store. It's like, what are those? They were not soft whatsoever. Yeah, Hoka is great. Crocs is great. But if you want to support the channel, of course, just get the Crocs one. I actually have to email them because they changed marketing agencies or whatever, but all right, let's make this little quesadilla, just enough carbs to get me back out there and be able to handle this other run. And I also want to make sure that I'm nice and hydrated. My hydration this summer has been really rough, but the thing is you can run dehydrated, especially if it's up to an hour. I don't advise it, but for me, I've just figured out, because I can't always slam a bunch of water, I can run a little bit dehydrated. It does make the rest of the day not fun. So I try to get in as much water as possible. So I'm going to probably refill my big 48 ouncer. I got to clean it because there's another fly in here this morning. These bugs just invade in the summer. But I got to clean this off so we don't get that fly juice in our mouths. It's absolutely disgusting shenanigans out here. Whenever I hear that sound of the click, 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 I feel like Stove God cooks out here. All right, enough talking. I'll see you guys when lunch is complete. So I'm not going to clip this for Instagram. Man, Instagram is a lot of work. I do not like it, but Charlie keeps advising me that if I want to reach more hobby joggers, I got to be on the gram. But I will tell you on this YouTube long format video what we're using. This is the vegan Mexican style blend from Trader Joe's. Absolute flames. The microwave's beeping at me. And then just the flour tortillas. So again, this is some convenience foods, and I'm not a nutritionist. I don't have the running coach certification, but being able to put up 100-mile weeks consistently, I think maybe gives me a little bit of, I'm not even trying to talk my talk. I just know what works for me and my body to be able to recover and be fueled and consistently have fun with running. So I'm hoping that by sharing some of this stuff, you guys can use it. So my takeaway from this is, man, you cannot be under fueled, especially in the summer, and you got to go for some convenience food sometimes. We can't always be eating avocados with goji berries and quinoa, okay? Because that takes a lot of time. Sometimes we got to pull up with I don't even know what these are. Peanut butter pretzels. Look at that. I'm going to have one right now because it was out. Sometimes you just got to have fun with it, man. I ate 3 donuts and then put up a 4:54 mile, bro. You just got to have fun. This lunch segment is taking way longer than I expected. I'll see you guys when it's done. I'm just going to put the camera in the other room. Sorry for the chewing noise. All right, guys, so here we go. This is lunch. A little vegan fried rice with the veggies and then some vegan quesadillas. And I'll probably add some coffee as well. And then we'll be good to go for the second run. Let's do it. All right, it's officially time for run number 2 here. And man, goodness, it is hot. And my stomach feels super weird because I just chugged a coffee basically and a bunch of other stuff. And this is the issue with trying to get these doubles in. It's something I have not figured out completely, how to nail the refuel. And of course, you saw my lunch, it was kind of weird. But how to nail the refuel, have enough time to digest, and then get into the second run. But the good thing is I did have enough calories, because when you don't have enough calories, man, these second runs are absolutely brutal. So plan for this second run. I'm glad that you asked. Never thought you'd ask. I don't know what that was. That was kind of a weird bit. But plan for the second run is 8 miles, nice and relaxed. A little bit of a weird run this morning. It was still, man, 7:18 pace for 12 miles. I think cutting the mileage down a little bit, because I hit 90 last week, I think that is really the key for this next marathon build. whether it's actually cutting down to 90 or just, I was talking to Joe Rubio, the running warehouse owner, and he was saying do more of these peaks, right? So have 2 days back to back where you hit 18 and 22, or say you're doing 50 miles a week, have it be you hit 8 and 10, and then the next day you take an off day or just hit 4. So that's what I'm going to try to do a little bit more. So today and tomorrow, higher mileage. Friday and Saturday, boom, ease back down, and then Sunday, the long run. I think that's going to work a little bit better. But for this run, just some nice mileage. It's just mileage, mileage, baby, mileage. You guys know that's what I'm all about. We got to get the mileage t-shirts coming soon. Shout out to my guy Barrett. I also got to send my guy Barrett some stuff. All right, let's go. Oh man, my watch is on 10%, so I don't know if we're gonna make it through 8 miles, 10% with the Coral Space 3. That should make it through. And man, straight out of the gates here, this shoe feels better on the second run than it did this morning. Dirty mileage, man. That is really the theme of this shoe. You just need to put the miles in it. And like I said, at the end of that first run, I could get all those benefits. This really is like a plated Novablast. And I'm sad that I lost all my footage from the long run because I talked about that for probably a good 5 minutes and did an analysis around how this shoe would compare to the Novablast. But I guess I'll just do it again right now. So they're both stable. They both have wider bases. Stack heights are similar. This has a lower drop. But the benefit of that Novablast is the ride isn't gonna blow you away the first 30 minutes. And I said this earlier today. But once you get up into the hour plus, it's awesome. In a great 4-hour marathon shoe. And that's what this is giving me. It's pretty easy to run in for me. And it seems the more time I put in it, the livelier the foam gets. And the less of that fighting feeling I have. Similar to the Superblast, this definitely takes some braking time. This is a very Asics type of shoe. But wow, holy cow, it is hot. Forgot what this Carolina sun was like. I did do a double on Monday, but man, woo! All right, I was yammering enough earlier. You don't need to hear me just complain for 8 miles, so I'll see you when I see you. I don't know when that is. Alright guys, so I told you I'm trying to ramp up the Instagram strategy. I'm gonna practice my Instagram. Here are 3 steps to become a better runner. Step 1, get outside. Step 2, get some miles in. Step 3, do it again. What do you think about that? I think those are pretty much the 3 steps, right? Get outside and put in the work. Man, I don't know about this whole Instagram thing. I don't think my essence quite translates into a 60-second format. We're gonna keep workshopping. My 3 favorite shoes from a 100-mile week. 10 things you need to know about the SC Trainer V3. I don't know, man. In the words of Kendrick Lamar, to slightly paraphrase, I don't do it for the gram. I do it for Mint Hill, baby. Let's go. I think my issue with Instagram is that it's this passive platform. The whole idea of the doom scroll, you're scrolling, you're waiting for something to catch your attention passively. You're not thinking, versus on YouTube,
you have to actively click on a video. This is why I don't do YouTube shorts either. It's like with all the other stuff out there, I still am competing for eyeballs, but you guys are choosing to watch this video by clicking it. So with Instagram, no one's choosing to watch a reel. It just pops up. I don't know. I'm not all about the flash, but we'll try it. I'm gonna try it. I'm committing to 3 times a week. So just give me a follow over there, and we're gonna see how it goes. Hopefully we can get more hobby joggers on board into the fold here. That's the goal with it. All right, guys, so mile 2.5. I think we're gonna start a new segment here on the channel. We're back in Mint Hill, so it's time for me to talk my talk. Haven't done this in a while. So this new segment is called, we'll throw it up on the screen for you guys, You Might Be My Son If. Let's get some background music, some theme music. Boom. Oh, look at that. It's Amazon Prime. They call me Prime. So out here delivering every day. Shout out to my guy Ethan Lavoie for that one. But you might be my son if. Here's how to tell. If you're a shoe tuber, you get a new shoe and start cranking out comparisons, you might be my son. If you thought to yourself, man, I should try to get these shoes as early as possible to do a first run review, because that worked for him to build up his channel, you might be my son. And the final way to tell if you might be my son is if you ever stood behind the camera and held up a shoe and made that your thumbnail. You might, man, you need a paternity test. You might be my son. I got a lot of sons out here. All right, so that concludes today's episode of You Might Be My Son. Make sure to buy all your shoes, if you are my son, through my Running Warehouse links below. Help support your father. We're gonna have a lot of child support to pay over the next year, so I would appreciate any affiliate sales we can get from all the sons out there. Should we clip that one off for the gram? Everybody wants to jack the hobby jogger's flag. That's okay, let them jack it. But just remember, in the words of my guy Brian B from Raleigh, there's only one jog father, okay? There's only one. You come up in here on ShoeTube holding up a 1080 V13 to the camera and making it your thumbnail, you better respect and bow the knee to the jog father. There's a lot of little boys running around out here, but there's only one jog father. We're almost back, but I had to flip it on one more time. Listen to this. It's just kind of an odd sounding pitter patter. Every shoe has a little bit of a different one. This one is like running on compressed styrofoam. Oh man, it feels so good to be back home. Back on the daily schedule. Back talking to you guys. All right, 7:34 pace, 8 miles exactly, and boy, we are absolutely swimming in it today. Holy cow. A little drip check. Out here like gonna, baby. Drip or drown. So I was going to apologize for the hot dogging, the boisterous, brazen, bold, brash behavior, the antics
the shenanigans, talking about the jog father, just absolutely disgusting language out there. But I'm not going to apologize. I'm back, baby. We're back in the Mint Hill shoe market, putting up 20-mile doubles. There's got to be some standards out here, man. There's got to be something that separates the wheat from the chaff. You know what I mean? You guys know what I'm talking about? Like Coach Mike Tomlin says, man, the standard is the standard. And everyone should be kind to themselves. There's different ways everyone does things. But for me, I can't sleep at night if I skip a run. I can't sleep at night. Man, I can't even focus the camera on my hands. Out here trying to lecture or something with the camera focused on the bushes. I can't sleep at night if I don't even know where I was going with this, but the standard is the standard, man. I don't skip runs. I don't cut runs short. I focus on mileage and feeling good and using the running to help improve my day. So we're back here. I took some time last week off of work, but we're back at the 9 to 5 grinding. It's all a system. It's all working together. Putting our nose to the grindstone, getting through it. So, wherever you are in life, I encourage you to just put in the work. That's my message. Do the best you can, put in the work, and be kind to yourself. And don't copy other people. Don't copy other people, man. I have no tolerance for that. Let's go downstairs. Let's go down the stairs to the podium and do this sweaty breakdown, Mint Hill summer style. My man is absolutely bumping some sensuous R&B over there. I love it. That's the Mint Hill OG. Did he wave? I don't think he waved. Alright guys, 20-mile double run day in the real dirty SC Trainer V3. I think I should clean this guy up before the 100-mile review. What do you think? We now have 80 miles on it, 80 dirty miles, and if Running Warehouse didn't force me to run in a bunch of weird trail shoes, we would have been at 100 now. But 1 week, or I guess 8 days, and 80 miles, that's not bad. So today, we did a nice 12-miler in the morning. It ended up being at an everyday pace, a slightly relaxed pace. I tried to do a workout and didn't quite make it through, so I pulled back and just got the mileage in, and then this afternoon, 8 more miles at a nice steady pace. Now, so far through these 80 miles of running, this is a very confusing shoe, and it reminds me a lot of an Asics product like, oh man, I actually don't have that much time. All right, I'm gonna go shower, try to get some fuel, and then we'll be back out here for the breakdown. All right guys, so we are gonna try this again. I started the breakdown and then I realized I had a call in 6 minutes and I needed to shower because it was a 90-minute call and I didn't want to be absolutely disgusting in my office. So speaking of disgusting, actually, look at this. And man, I don't know why this shoe is just really hard to get on camera. The black upper combined with this orange and green, it is not a good outdoor photography, outdoor camera shoe. But thank you for bearing with me as we work out some of this photography drama. But also, by the way, look, boom, pulling up in the Oxford because we're grinding out that 9 to 5. But we got 20 miles today in the New Balance SC Trainer V3. So what I was saying before I realized I had no time and then I had to go shower, is nothing about this shoe has blown me away so far, but that is the beauty of this shoe. So comparing it to a lot of the other plated training shoes out there, it's much simpler. It's not as crazy, it's not as bouncy as something like the Hoka Skyward X. It feels a little bit more like a workhorse style daily trainer with a plate in there. So that is the draw of this shoe. It's easy to run in, it's not gonna blow you away, and it's also not gonna feel weird or awkward. And so I compared this to the Novablast 4 and the Superblast, and I've been comparing it to the Novablast throughout the day. And that is a shoe actually that's a little bit awkward, but that is not the case with this guy. It's not an awkward ride, but the reason it reminds me of the Novablast is because that shoe is very cushioned, very protective, and it doesn't feel great for the first 30 to 45 minutes. But once you start spending more time on feet, once you get up to 60 minutes, once you get up to 90 minutes, once you start pushing up to the edge of what you're comfortable running, the Novablast 4 really works well because of how much cushion, support, and protection it has. That is very similar to the Rebel, or not the Rebel. This looks like the Rebel, and the stack is like the Rebel, but that's very similar to the SC Trainer V3 here. And oh man, the sun's hiding on us. This guy starts feeling a little bit better once I get up to 60 minutes, and also for the second run of the day, that's when the benefit of the plate really comes through. So in this guy, the plate is not adding a ton of pop, and it's not even, I don't know if it's even adding that much stability to this foam, because it wouldn't be that unstable, I don't think, because it's not the super soft, not the squishiest foam out there. But what it is doing is it's ensuring that when your legs get tired, when you're getting up to that 90-minute, 2-hour mark, you do get a little bit more pop. So what you're trading off here in terms of maybe it's not the most fun ride is it is a little bit more of a supportive, protective, comfortable shoe. And so I actually saw somebody on Instagram who was on the trip with me who also got this shoe. She's about a 4-hour marathoner, I believe, shooting for something in that range, and she said she really liked it. So that's the vibe that this shoe is giving me. A great first plated shoe if you're looking for an in-between shoe that's not going to be as aggressive as a race day shoe, but not as a little bit more exciting than a Novablast. If you like the Novablast, want something with a little bit more bite for your race, this could be good. If we think about the other shoe that I mentioned earlier, the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4, I said maybe you should just get that as your race shoe. I still do think, sorry, I was eating trail mix. Ugh. I don't have any water out here. Like peanuts in my mouth. I could get some water, but you never know what happens when you go back inside. I might just get attacked by small people, and I gotta finish this out. So, yeah, 4-hour marathon shoe. What I was saying is that it's in between, and that's what this category is, right? Plated training shoes, they're in between everyday running shoes and race shoes, but these shoes are getting so aggressive and so high stack. Brooks Hyperion Max is super aggressive. Even the Puma Deviate Nitro 3, it's not the most aggressive, but it is a very fast, bouncy ride. That feels a little bit more wild than this shoe. So that's the trade-off here, right? It's comfortable, it's cushioned, it's supportive, it's stable, but it's not the craziest ride, and I do think that's why it's gonna be a good first plated shoe. But that being said, Saucony Endorphin Pro 4, also a great plated shoe, and I think most people will probably, if you do want a fast marathon shoe or that fun, that's what I would go for. So far through 80 miles, yes, we have 80 miles on this. It's a little bit of a confusing shoe. I probably would have had 100 miles. This is what I said earlier before. I don't know if I'm gonna leave it or not because I had to shower, but I would have had 100 miles on it if Running Warehouse didn't force me to run in the trail shoes. But it is a very confusing shoe so far. At some paces it feels good, at others it doesn't. Earlier, if you watched the portion of the video where I was actually running in the shoe, and I hope you did, I said it's like a song where you're waiting for the beat to drop. And for the first run and through the first 50 miles of the shoe, it felt like the beat didn't drop. But as we got more time in the shoe, and especially on the second run today, that bass is kicking, those snares are hitting. And I think with more miles, the value of the shoe and why it's a good option starts to show a little bit more. So not a shoe for me so far that's blowing me away, not something that's gonna be the most exciting ride that I pull for. And I'm still not even sure if I would pick this over some of the options that I have. So say I get 100 miles on this, the Deviate Nitro 3, the Balos, all those other shoes, and I weren't testing any new shoes. I'm not sure yet what type of runs and when I would personally pull for this over any of those other shoes. With something like the Hoka Skyward X, it was very clear. It's super fun, it's super bouncy. I wanna pull for that anytime where I just need a little bit extra motivation to get out the door. Right now I'm thinking, is this the long run shoe that I use for days where maybe I'm not going for the fastest pace, but I want a little bit of extra comfort and support? Maybe that's what this is for. So throughout the next 20 miles of testing, that's what I'm gonna be looking for. What is the one thing that the shoe excels at? What is the one reason you'd buy the SC Trainer V3 over another shoe? So far I'm thinking if you just want the benefit of the plate. And what is the benefit of the plate? Let's have that conversation. The benefit of the plate is that you get a higher stack of soft foam or compliant foam, as our friend Matt from Doctors of Running would say. You can get a higher stack of the foam, but still have stability, and you are getting that in this shoe. It is nice and stable. It's got a wide base, and you do have a really nice stack out in the front. So you're getting a lot of protection, which is why New Balance is positioning this as a long run shoe, but I'm just not sure if that's enough alone. Is just the protection in the plate enough? Because through 80 miles, that's what it's seeming like. I'm just not sure. I thought it was coming this way. It is not coming this way. But in terms of the ride, let's finish this out. We did the 12 miles in the morning, the 8 miles in the afternoon. It is a nice ride. It's comfortable, slightly soft ride with, now that it's broken in, probably about 30 to 50 miles to break in. With the plate, I can feel the plate. That's the thing. You do feel like you're in Carbon County. So if you've never run in a plated shoe before, it will feel like a little bit of a different experience, but the plate is not so aggressive, especially because you don't have the crazy rocker geometry where it's going to put you up on your toes and force you to run a faster pace. So that is something that's nice about this shoe. Yes, you have the plate. Yes, you have the taller stack, but it doesn't force me to change my mechanics. That's what I'm saying. It's very easy to run in. Now, upper is good. It is a little bit baggy on me in the size 11. I would go true to size. Lacing system works great. You get a nice stretchy tongue, and the fit of the heel is good. So overall, it's a solid, well put together, well constructed shoe. It's just not quite hitting for me for any one thing so far. So I really need to try to do some faster pace in this, because it has been promising as I drop down to 7 flat, and 6:30 to 7 flat is really the fastest I've gone in this shoe. I want to see if with a little bit more speed and force, it comes alive. For the first run I did this morning, I just could not crank it up to that zone. And the other thing that we need to test still is the wet weather grip. So stay tuned for that for the 100-mile review. So far, 20 miles today and 80 miles total. It is very protective. It is comfortable, but it's not the most comfortable plated trainer. It's not the fastest plated trainer. It's not the most aggressive plated trainer. It's not the lightest weight plated trainer. I'll make sure we do the weight out in the shoe market on Friday. What it is probably the most normal feeling plated trainer. So I think that's where we're landing the plane on this one. SC Trainer V3, maybe the easiest to run in plated trainer out of all of them, the most normal feeling plated trainer, the least aggressive plated trainer. It is going to be a good shoe if you don't want something super harsh and super aggressive, but you do want a little bit of that assistance and that support. So, man, the sun is just bright, huh? This is one of those days where it's in and it's out. You can see the shoe, you can't see the shoe. That sums up how I felt about the shoe. Sometimes I could see the benefit of it, sometimes I couldn't. I got 20 more miles to figure out where I'm truly gonna land on this one, but through 80 miles, it's not hitting. It's not hitting for me, especially because New Balance is 860, right? Propel at 120. What else do they have? The 880, the Balos with that soft, buttery foam. There's a lot of good options out there. Now, the Balos is way softer than this, and you are going to have the benefit of the plate if you're a bigger runner. But man, there's so many competitive options, and that's what I'll do in the 100-mile review. I'll do a little bit of a market overview with this guy, do some more comparisons and where this one truly fits in. But we gotta get those last 20 miles of running in to really see. But let's do a little bit of a durability check so far at 80, and then I can give you the full one at 100. Boom. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, we're wearing down pretty good. Oh, this is the thing too. Can you see inside here? Look at that. When I was at Montaña de Oro, I had a rock coming here into the Rock Catcher 5000, and it actually destroyed the foam. Look at that. But I didn't notice that, and I've put probably about 40 miles on since then. Yeah, you can see in here too. There's a little bit of foam damage, but I put 40 miles on the shoe since then, and it feels completely fine. So yeah, I'm not going to knock it for that. But yeah, rubber's holding up well, actually. So maybe that's going to be the thing. Normal feeling, durability. Is this just a workhorse plated trainer? That's the vibe that I'm getting so far. Dirty mileage, man. Dirty mileage. Now we got a Tahoe coming. All right, guys. 20 miles. I'm back in Mint Hill. I'm glad I'm back in Mint Hill. I'm going to have some dinner. I'm going to finish the work day, and then we'll be back tomorrow with another video, guys. Thank you for watching. All right, guys, one more thing here, and man, is it good to be back up here at the shoe market. But I did want to hammer home this point a little bit about it is a really good shoe for time on feet, and that it's comfortable, it's supportive, I don't have any aches or pains. It feels good and normal at the end of the long run. I'm not sure if I completely drove that home. It's a good shoe for high mileage. The question that I'm having, though, is that enough? For $180, is that enough in 2024 for me to recommend a shoe? Or in this plated trainer category, is fun a requirement? Is fun a requirement? Is getting a little bit of that speed assistance, that zing, some excitement, is that a requirement for a plated training shoe? So I would like your thoughts on that, and I'm going to do some thinking and come back in the 100-mile review and have that be the frame, because for $180, I'm not sure if that's enough. And that's why I keep referencing the Novablast, because that was a shoe I felt very similar to this. This does have some more pep and pop, but that's $40 cheaper, and they have the same benefit to me, which is that for longer miles, I feel comfortable and supportive. This, of course, is better for faster running, but it's not the most exciting. So do we need excitement in our plated training shoes in 2024, or is proficiency enough? Is it enough for a shoe to just get the job done? That is my question for you all, and I'll come back and answer it when we get to the 100-mile review. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right, one more thing, guys. I'm out here grinding, trying to do some product photography. Not my strong suit. I'm trying to get the perfect picture of this for the website. But you guys know this is a quality hat. I've been rocking it. I should probably let you know Hobby Jogger hats are now available for pre-order. We're going to ship them out August 1. This thing is a banger. I've been wearing it, the version of this hat, for the past, since the Saucony Endorphin Elite video. I've pretty much only been wearing these for my runs. We now have the Supwell certified logo. Look at that. Not on the top. So Hobby Jogger hats available now for pre-order. You guys have been asking for this for a while. We got the snap closure in the back. They can go through the wash. This is Carolina tested. In the heat, I've been grinding out some runs in these all summer. I gave them to some of our friends. I gave one to Matt from Doctors Are Running. He said it was one of the only hats, or I think he said the only hat that doesn't hurt his head, and it's his favorite hat now. So you guys have been asking for them. I hope you enjoy. Pre-order, they're going to be $30 plus shipping. Pretty much as cheap as I could do it and still make a little bit of money off of it. So yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy. I put a lot of work into making this be a good product, because you guys know we have to go through a few rounds to get it to where it's at now. But it's also embroidered. Look, this is embroidered. It is not screen printed. A lot of the running hats are screen printed. I wanted to make sure that this thing would last. You're not going to have the little letters peel off. And you guys know the whole essence of what I do is just get out there and start. That's one piece of it, but there's also a piece of we do want to do something. Oh, I'm getting chewed by the mosquitoes, so I got to keep the soliloquy a little short. We got to go inside, but I put a lot of work into this, guys. I hope you can enjoy it and go ahead and order one. It will help support the channel. I can use all the support I can get. We are trying to launch this thing into the next level over the next few months, and this is why I do it, guys, for all the hobby joggers out there. You guys know we're putting in work in the 9 to 5, trying to get this puppy off the ground. I'll see you tomorrow. Link to pre-order below. Ow. Just slapped my funny bone on the door. All right, one more thing, guys. It would not be a double day without kids yelling in the back, but without a little softball kitchen action to close it out. So we have the tacos tonight, the best tortillas in the game. These are the flour and corn mix tacos from Trader Joe's. Little vegan chorizo black bean action, sauteed peppers and onions, homemade queso, vegan. Charlie would not tell me the recipe. She said it's mommy's secret recipe. And then avocado. Absolute fire. This is my third one. I'm probably going to go for 5 tonight. I'm so hungry, man. 5 with 3 things at noon. Oh, by the way, electrolytes are in the description below. Get your electrolytes through my link. That helps support the channel. All right, guys. Back to dinner. I'll see you tomorrow.